So the same thing is going to be for the other side of the stairs. We're going to have to draw the walls on this side the same way we did this one. So you could even go ahead and copy this wall and place the copy on here. Then I will select these stairs along with this wall. Then isolate both of them. Then switch over to the top view. Then I'm going to select this wall here. And then I'm going to copy it to the opposite side, like so. And that's it. Now we've got the side walls for both sides. Now we're going to de-isolate. And as you can see, here is our result. Do you see how well it turned out? Now as for this bottom part of the stairs, again we will be needing some more elements, as in we would need to add a couple more side walls. And also if we go over here and take a look at the ground floor plan, we can see that we have this wall here and another on this side. After that, our drawing leads to this part, leading to the joint building, which we've talked about in the earlier videos, which is not our focus subject. That's a whole nother building, which connects to this one we're modeling. But we're not focusing on that part. We've already modeled this area, which also belongs to that other building. But we are going to modify the stairs a bit. So we're going to be needing a couple more walls and the floor here and finish our site. Now if I go take a look at the 3D view, let's take a look at this part. I'm going to do the same thing here. After we've created this garden, we could also add a little bit more to it and align it with this stairs remainder. As for this wall, we no longer need it. We used that one to copy for making this part, and then we placed it here. As for these two walls, their elevations should be correct, but let's see which offset it's based on. It's going to have to start from exactly this offset, which means if I spot this elevation, that is the -7 offset. Therefore, I'm going to go over here and set the base constraint to the -7 offset, which puts it here. And now for its elevation, I could set the top constraint to unconnected and then give it an unconnected height. That should be the same height as the walls on here, which was 65. Now let's check, and there we go. Now let's go over to the other end of this garden floor. This one's base constraint should be at -1.90, so I'm going to put that for the base offset, and we're going to set the top constraint to unconnected. And as for the unconnected height, again we're going to set that to 65 centimeters. Now if we zoom in on here, it looks like we need another part of wall, which will have to go in a straight line. So I'll select these and isolate them. Then go over here to the left view. Now zoom in and select this one, edit profile. And I'm going to extend this wall further to the other end. We could also do that by drawing lines, like so. I'm going to draw this wall to extend it. Now grab the align tool and align these two together. Now align these two. And as for this line, we no longer need it, so delete. And finally, we're going to trim these lines together. Now press HI. And here's our result. Do you see that? Now as for this side, in order to not leave it empty, you're going to have to adjust the elevations together. We could simply use a line. We're going to select this side as the base and align this one with it. Looks like we're going to need to do the same thing for the tops as well. So it's going to have to be this face with this one. And there we go. And now one more thing that we can do to improve our drawing is that we could go over here to this plan. And actually, it would be better if I did it in 3D. I'm going to select these two walls together and isolate them, then switch to the top view. And then I'm going to extend one of them to fill the gap. So I could right click on here and disallow join, and then I'll be able to extend this one a little bit further. Do you see that here? This is how it turned out. But again, here we're going to be needing another wall. So I'm going to go over to the ground floor plan so that I could find its AutoCAD drawing and proceed. So first I'm going to have to draw one wall on this side and another on here. Then we're going to need to close this part, since we're not going to be continuing modeling for beyond that, so we could just use another wall to close it on here. Now let's go over to the 3D view. And first we're going to need to adjust the offsets and elevations of these walls. So I'll select both of them, then set both of their base constraints to the first basements, which is the -7 offset, and as for the base offset, we're going to lower that by 75 centimeters. So here they are, and now I could also edit their profiles. So I'll select this one, along with these stairs, then isolate them both. Then we select this wall and edit its profile. We'll set the offset to 65 centimeters, then place the offset here. And this one is going to have to go up, but if you move your cursor around a little bit, it's going to show. And here it is. Again, we could try and lower this one by 20 centimeters. So I'm going to lower this down to here. Then trim these lines together. Then this one with this one, and this one with this one. And it should look like this. We're going to finish the edit. And so we've made the sidewall for the first flight of stairs. And now for the other side, we could just put a straight up wall. As in that was the case in the actual project, we needed a whole wall here. But because we're not going to be drawing it in a way to lead to the other building, we could just make this wall with a slope, just like we did the other side. Either way, the actual project needed it to be straight. But instead, I'm going to select this one, then copy it. Now select it along with the stairs and isolate them together. Then switch to the top view. Now select this wall and copy it from here to here. And there we go. I'm going to rotate the drawing a little bit. And up to this point, this is how our site looks. It's going to look even way better once we include the topography as well. This is what our walls looks like. But the thing is that we need another floor here. We're actually talking about this area, which also needs a floor like the other part so it doesn't stay empty. So I'm going to go over here and grab the floor command. Then I'm going to duplicate this type and I'm going to name it site, for example. It would be better if I also change this material and make it anything besides grass. For example, I'm going to duplicate this one, and for the name of the duplicate, again, I'm going to put site. But also, let's not forget to also include the name of the project in the material's name. Now we can go ahead and click OK. And then we're going to draw the floor on here. And this is it. Now let's go over to the 3D view where we will readjust its offsets. It's going to have to go lower to the -1.90 offset, like so. Now because we've also added an extra stair here, you can see how the AutoCAD plan did not recognize it because according to it, the floor went to here. So I'm going to edit this floor on the spot. And basically all we need to do is just a couple of alignments. I'm going to go up a little bit and now get the align command. And then we're going to select this side of the stair as the base and align this side of the floor with it. And done. We'll click finish. And now we've got a proper floor. As you can see, this is how it turned out. Again, we're going to be needing another floor down here to fill this empty space. And if I try to show this to you in the ground floor plan, this is the landing, this is an empty space which we could fill, and as for this part, we could also place a floor. For instance, I'm going to grab the floor command from here, and then I'm going to start drawing the floor from this spot, all the way up to this point over here. As for this part, you can always go ahead and trim or align it, but because this part isn't our job, we're just going to leave it as it is. Alright, so this one also needs some offset readjustment. So for its level, I'm going to set that to the first basement's offset. And it's going to come down like so. And thus, this is how we can model all the elements that we need for our site and finish that area. But besides that, I'm going to also draw one more piece of floor for the bottom of the stairs. We're going to draw this one more floor to fill this empty space and basically complete our site. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. I'll set its level to the first basement's offset, which is -7. And as for its height offset, I'll make it -75. As you can see the result, up to this point we've completed drawing all the elements we needed for our site. But again, it's going to look even better once the topography is also included in the drawing. It's going to look more complete, and we will have a full site plan of this project to deliver, which, as we've said before, we're going to dedicate a whole session to that topic. Now you've also become familiar with modeling the site area, and the modeling for it was essentially the same thing we did for the other parts, only there were a few tips and tricks here and there which can help you finish your drawing faster. Now, because this part had a slope on the stairs and the garden and some other parts, I thought it would be better to focus on this one and observe all the possibilities and solutions. Like we used model in place for here, then we edited the profiles for drawing these walls, and basically those were just some modeling techniques that can help speed up your process.